It's like a riddle. Katie Price has attacked Emily Andre, the wife of her ex-husband Peter, on social media, the sentiments even uglier than the grammar. She was so rude and unfair many wouldn't be able to resist replying with a few home truths. But if Emily was the kind of person who did that, Katie wouldn't have attacked her in the first place. Okay, maybe less a riddle, more a catty-22. In trying to unmask the woman she sees as the villain of the piece, all Katie has done is expose her own insecurity. It's not hard to see why she's jealous. Emily has natural beauty, youth, brains, all her own hair and teeth, but more importantly, she has achieved happy ever after with Katie's Prince Charming, Peter Andre. Katie has ended up somehow not being the star of her own fairy tale. Emily's dignified silence over the comments, now deleted, must be a much more devastating blow for Katie than any vicious comeback could be. It's obvious for whom this episode will be the most uncomfortable, Katie and Peter's children Junior and Princess. That they are well used to their mother's outbursts won't make them any easier to bear. It must be extremely tricky for the two teenagers to manage the love and loyalty they feel for Katie while enjoying the benefits of the calm, ordinary stability provided by Peter and Emily. Their not-so-wicked stepmother putting their feelings first, and keeping quiet, probably only exacerbates what is presumably Katie's greatest fear. That Emily is a better mum to her kids than she is. The elephant in the room, of course, is that Katie Price no longer feels like fair game for any kind of criticism. Not from Emily, not from anyone. Her life isn't a car crash anymore, even when she causes a literal one, because the definition of that is a terrible situation you can't help but stare at, be fascinated by. The fascination with her antics has gradually evaporated. Increasingly she's a tragic figure, clearly struggling and unhappy. It feels rude to stare at Katie Price these days, even though she desperately wants us to. It used to feel like she was leading the media and the public in a dance, we all knew the steps and when to take them. She was fun, sparkly, shameless, robust. Why? She provided endless fodder, and it was breathlessly reported for the nation to pore over, even if the thing some of them were pouring was scorn. That was the way it worked. But then the hasty marriages fell apart in ever more depressing ways. Her decisions, always questionable, became dark and unsettling. The myth that went along with the legend of Jordan, behind the tan, teeth and tits she was a shrewd businesswoman cleverly building an empire, was blown apart when she filed for bankruptcy from her mucky mansion. Katie Price is as much a British institution as terrible weather and queuing, not particularly popular, but part of who we are. And as such it's hard not to root for her. To wish it could be different, that she would take some good advice or help beyond a month in the Priory where she pops out to get caught buying racy underwear and getting her nails done. Maybe then, instead of railing furiously against Emily, she would be able to say what she actually should: thank you.